Hello, welcome back. I'm Darcy Darkness, and this is Confessions from the Darkside. How are you all in this wonderful community? This is Confessions from the Darkside presents Origins of Halloween. I'm going to get a disclaimer out of the way because it's fucking me, and well, can I be trusted? No. Should I be trusted? Possibly not. We are full of so much adult content that some of you may think this isn't necessary, and some of you think this isn't needed. If you're one of those people, then thanks for checking us out. But I'll say this only once: if you can't stand the hate, then get the fuck out of my kitchen. Now, for everyone else who likes what we have here, then regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started? And are we ready? As I said, the origins of Halloween. Grab yourself a drink, a snack, and let's get comfy and discuss what Halloween means, where the origins came from, how we all celebrate, and do we still celebrate the traditions? Has it evolved? Has it disappeared? Let's find out. Now, let's get into it. Join me, Lady Darcy Darkness, right sitting comfortably. So we all love Halloween, no matter what our age. If we love all things dark and spooky, then we embrace it every day of the year. I know I do. I live in a forever Halloween state, and I wish others would do so too. But what I really wish is that we could all experience the actual origins of Halloween and how we all celebrate in the days leading up to Halloween and the whole holidays. It's not all about the candy, is it? And the costumes. We all as human beings have our own ways and traditions brought from other parts of our lives, and then it evolves over time, and we all add our own uniqueness to it that becomes part of the memories that we pass on to our families, and they continue on the traditions, and to them we continuously celebrate the old ways with the new ways and on our own terms. Well, I was going to discuss all different origins, but I put out feelers months ago to ask multiple different platforms who still celebrates their origins from their culture, and no one has got back to me. So I'm going to do the actual origins of Halloween because it is based in Scotland and I am Scottish. So let's teach the world where Halloween came from, because people are under the impression that it came from kind of like America and things like that because it's obviously over commercialized, but we'll get into that. Like I said, what we're covering today: Halloween, its origins and evolution of what Halloween represents and now. So how has Halloween changed for us? For me, growing up in Scotland, we weren't really taught the origins and how we are partly responsible for the celebration with our guising and Celtic regions of the world. It was about walking around doors getting sweeties that ended up being monkey nuts, oranges and apples for the year, the odd piece of chocolate. Now people try and Americanize it here without even realizing we hold the origin. It's also very competitive, and that doesn't feel the same, and that's not what actual Halloween is about. The significance of Halloween: most seem to see it as a celebration or a milestone, not just in Scotland but all around the world. History or myths surrounding Halloween. What traditions do you celebrate during this time, and do you enjoy this season? I do. As you can tell from my Twitch, because every day that I'm on, I do a horror look, and I really enjoyed doing that and expressing myself, being the forever weirdo that I am. Religion and Halloween. So, Halloween started around 2000 years ago as we know it. It was celebrated as Samhain, and this holiday was used to scare away the ghosts and the spirits. But this is the time that when the veil between our world and the dead, the other world, is at its thinnest. And that this allows them to cross, but only for this time when the veil is at its thinnest, they can actually cross on over. So in the summer, before we cross over to autumn into Samhain territory, we have Beltane. This is known to be the festival of the living, whereas Samhain celebrates the dead. So it's like a yin yang, or like light and dark type thing. Celebrating the summer, celebrating which is life, and celebrating the dark, which is the death. But again, it can cross over. That's the thing. We celebrate all people who are no longer with us and the ones who are still around us, as it should be celebrating life no matter what, wherever you are, being remembered, being protected, and living through our celebrations. The cycle of life, the power to let go of the negativity we carry around and set it free. So that energy will set it free, so that new energy will find us. So All Saints' Day is apparently November the 1st, and it is November the 1st. Used to be May 13th. But again, 13th, a lot of people don't like that number. It was changed by the Pope, and it was Pope Gregory the Third, then Pope Gregory the Fourth. Lengthened this holiday so that the celebration could be celebrated by the full church, and that is why it is celebrated in its own culturally appropriate manner as it is today. The complete sellout that it's become, as it's more about beat this than any sort of tradition. Yet in 2009, the Pope said you shouldn't be dressing your children up as evil entities. That is forbidden, yet no one read that memo. Your holy saviour is telling you to stop celebrating a pagan festival, yet you do not listen and you continue again. You hear what you want to hear, which is again typical, which isn't being true to your own faith now, is it? Well, if you weren't aware that Halloween originates back to the pagan religion before Christianity and how it's still very much celebrated within paganism of its traditions to dress up in costumes, light bonfires to ward off evil, then you really need to read a book. This is a Celtic pagan celebration that, was adapted and adopted by Christianity as many of our holidays to get new followers. Yes, taking holidays and religious celebrations from other cultures and other religious backgrounds so that you can boost your followers, basically. Christianity has been doing this for many a century to adapt their own religion to favour others so that they can change sides. So everyone, you are celebrating our holidays and most of you aren't even aware of it. Originally, the Bible have never mentioned Halloween, and again, this was added later when recruiting new followers to build up a relationship to sway them to change sides. Yes, Halloween is not what it used to be, but the origins are from the Celtic ways and is still a festival and celebration dedicating itself to the pagan religion, dressing up and trick-or-treating, celebrating the turn of the season from summer to autumn when the weather changes and evolves to the darker times and the colder months. So when you are celebrating Halloween, remember that the Catholic Church took the pagan holiday Samhain 1200 years ago to use in their own faith to get new followers. People look at the origins taking religious holidays to suit their own beliefs as actually against Christianity, not to practice another's beliefs. Yet it was okay for Easter, Halloween and Christmas. Let that sink in. The festival and celebrations of Samhain were a reflection on how the Celts lived their life. Light and dark, spring and summer representing the light and the autumn and the winter for the dark. When the seasons changed and the world around us was going through its cycle, showing the times of the land growing and thriving, of the positives that the light brings, and what comes with light is dark. And again, Samhain and Halloween lands in the dark. But we are united by the world of the living and the dead between October the 31st and November 1st. The changing of the season and the world changing and going through the cycle where it becomes colder and darker and our lives shift with these times, a reflection of what the light brought and brings with it, with the change in the cycle, the change in the season and the cycle of life. It is believed that the worlds of the dead are seen by the world of the living, and it is the strongest on those dates, making communing with them on the other side much easier. And this is something that I'm the way it was portrayed in Catholicism when I was growing up. It was literally, oh, the spirits can come back. It was only ever you could technically see your family kind of thing between those dates. And there's also American Horror Story Hotel where people are tied to that hotel and they only show up on Halloween, and then by the time it comes to the 1st of November then they can like disappear. That means that you could see your loved one, be with them for that one day. How many of us would give anything, whether we want to like tell them that we love them and then we miss them and how much they have missed out in our life? But there's people you may not want to see and you want to, or you do see them and you want to fucking give them everything because they have been so mean or nasty, or they haven't been the people that they should have been to you when they were alive. People would give anything to see them, to even shed some of their feelings that they're having, whether it's good or bad. And that's how the whole All Saints Day is, that it's a day for remembering the dead. It's the day for remembering your loved ones. But apparently the veil at midnight between Halloween and November 1st would be the fact that that would be the thinnest and you'd be able to communicate with them, whether you were communicating them with a spirit board, as some people do, or people sometimes feel like they feel a more stronger bond to the person at this time. And again, it could be the power of your own will that's feeling that. But again, I'm not going to take that and deprive that from someone, because I would give anything to feel or see my parents again, even though there's a lot of things that I'm not happy about, but I would give anything. And if that was real, then you could see them once a year, every year, even just not even their obviously physical form. If you just see them, that I think most people would literally give anything for that, because again, it's a lonely time. And I've noticed that especially in winter, that a lot of people do get a kind of seasonal depression where everything does changes from the light to the dark, and people start, it's just that once you get over Halloween, then there's so much coming. It's a very depressing time, and I love winter and I love autumn, and it is a very depressing time because there's a lot of holidays that you wish loved ones were there and they're not. And some people are all by themselves, and it's absolutely heartbreaking to know that you just have that one day where you could see that one person that means the world to us who's no longer here. It's a nice kind of aspect to think about, that that's how it was perceived back then. And they kind of try, and I really feel that people have forgotten the origins of even that significant part of the day. Is it part the fact that it's at this thinnest so the dead and the living can be reunited? People fucking forget that. There's a few movies and stuff that actually have reflected on it and actually shown it in a different way, and obviously their own portrayal. If it was real, we would love it. Whatever you want to believe, whatever you want to feel, I'm not here to take that away from you. I'm just here to hit you with facts. Christians again took it upon themselves to create a harvest, which again, a lot of people, it's called a harvest festival where you collect food and stuff like that. It's seen as a charity type event where again, like, they collect foods, hand them out to like the elderly or people that are falling on hard times. But what the Celts did was bring all their harvests in to protect them from the cold, so everything grown in the light cycle could be enjoyed in the darker times of the cycle, that everyone can enjoy the fruits of the light even in the dark, bringing the light into the darker times. The produce of the light were used as offerings by the Celts to the spirits as a calming token. It was the Catholic Pope Gregory who encouraged members of its flock to come to the United Kingdom and convert followers to the faith by using their own holidays and adapting them to suit their own faith, and in turn build their followers in other parts of the world. Not just Christians, lots of other people, but Christians, Catholics, they were terrible for that. For example, the Celts believed that the darkest of spirits and entities would wander around Samhain, but early Catholicism changed it so that saints who had a supernatural ability were celebrated during this time, so they decided to take the Celtic faith and tradition and make it their own. So familiar to us, Stara, which is Easter by the way, and Yule, which is Christmas. Take what they want, then change it to suit themselves. How does that not sound familiar? Are we learning something new, or am I just pissing you all off? Most likely the latter. So there was a name change. All Hallows Day then became Halloween, but became more of a saint good day, and it's okay to have supernatural abilities if you're a member of the Catholic Church. Any other reason, it was evil and you were an abomination. And again, these rules laid out by themselves, contradicting themselves again. Not much has changed now, has it? I doubt it will ever change. So when they changed the name to Halloween, it became a supernatural symbol for spooky fun, without any depth into its origin or history. And again, the Celts carved pumpkins in Scotland, but it was turnips, which is much more difficult, by the way, because turnips are solid. They're a root fucking veg as well. At least like with pumpkins, there's a kind of hollowness about them. No, a fucking turnip are like, they are heavy as fuck. And they could be used as a weapon. They could literally kill a man or woman or anyone. Scotland, Samhain. Halloween is the shortening of the Hallows Eve, the day before All Saints' Day, the day before the veil that unites our world and the dead can walk the earth one last time. It's a Celtic festival that is celebrated in the Celtic lands in the UK, or it should be. The traditions were apple duking, which is basically duking for apples, apples in water. Sometimes they did it in Charmed as well, where they would like take an apple and they'd take like the skin, they'd peel it off, and then you'd blow it, and then it would tell you the letter of the love that you're supposed to love the most. There's different concepts of the apple duking all over the place. Some people use like a fork, some people just use their face. I don't like putting my face in water, so it's incredibly difficult for me to do apple duking, so it wasn't particularly something that I enjoyed doing. Guising, which is basically going around like trick-or-treating, we did that, but that's the name that we actually in Scotland call it, is guising. They don't call it trick-or-treating, but again, trick-or-treating has become guising because it's been very commercialised and Americanized, like in most countries. Neat lanterns, again, that's turnips being made into lanterns. Again, this is actually used in, I think, in Asia a lot, where they will put like limericks and parts of poems and songs that are sung at this time for All Saints Day, and then they like let them go. It's like letting go of things. So again, it's a nice wee tradition that they have over in like Asia. Nut burning now, I had to piss myself laughing because yes, we are our traditions of nut burning, not testicles by the way, actual nut. I still laughed incredibly hard because I remember, some of the traditions that they used to actually try and do when I was at primary school, and it was like nut burning. And when you say nut burning to children, come on, it's your brain just goes there. So there is a big part of Samhain, a tradition that was keel pulling, and keel pulling actually was another way for men and women to actually bond. And you could actually, what they did was they used keel pulling to, there's a few different Celtic traditions where they would use these sort of celebrations for you to find your mate, or you would do kind of like, it's not even spirit reading, it was just kind of use the keel pulling to do sort of reading, and it would help you find who you were supposed to be with. which again, who knew kale had all those positive aspects, but hey. Devouring of treacle scones, sausage rolls, Halloween cake, and something called foirag. I never heard of it, and I don't know if I pronounced it right. I probably did not. Present day, trick or treating, and they're very Americanized and also very competitive. You don't get anyone nearly as good of decorations as you get in the States, which sucks balls. I tend to make my own decorations and my own stuff, so none of my items are bought out the shop usually. It's a couple of little things, like maybe things that I put on my doors and my windows, but everything else is mostly made by myself. Halloween parties, but again, I prefer Halloween parties to trick or treating because some kids don't like, going out and about. And with everything that happened with, the past few years when we were all in an apocalypse, Halloween parties were a good thing for kids because they still got their they still got their treats, they still got their fun, and they still got to dress up. Some kids can't go trick or treating, so Halloween parties are a staple to some people. Sometimes they combine Halloween and Guy Fawkes, even though they are not even in the same thing. They're just closer together, so you will get fireworks and stuff. Change to tradition. Lack of education in the origins and traditions. So the understanding is well lacking and there's nothing really to pass on to the future generations. More about candy and how one is better than the other, which happens with other holidays and special occasions. Facts you may not know that Halloween is a Celtic tradition, that both sexes used to partake in kale pulling and eligible men and women would play fortune teller to decipher who and what they were their future mates, as I said earlier. And their characteristics, when people think it's all about the supernatural, it actually is not. It's about finding your true love and finding the person that you're supposed to be with. That it's a religious occasion and shouldn't be celebrated by Christians, but neither should Easter or Christmas be either. They are based in pagan holidays and tradition. This annoys people when I bring up facts, but hey, people only choose what they want to hear when it suits them. So as the years have passed by, the more commercialised the holiday becomes, and the origins start to fade. This isn't how it should be, and we should be teaching our children the origins of celebrations that we celebrate so things don't die and are not forgotten. Most places around the world have some sort of backbone to their Halloween celebrations so they can pass down a part of the past so that the future can still reflect, protect and celebrate days of the past with a twist of the future, yet we don't. Why is that? Humans are humans, that is why. People forget because they want to. They want and they will, again, wash the true facts of the origin as they do not fit the narratives of them now or back then. I would love for future generations to be celebrating the real Halloween and the real traditions of where they're from. But will they? That is the question. Do you have any traditions that you pass down to your family? And do you celebrate the traditions of your country and your culture? Let us know in the comments below. That was the origins of Halloween. I am Lady Darcy Darkness. Happy Halloween. Make some fun memories and give yourself a good scare or everyone around you. If you hear a boo, remember what a member of Drag Race said, Sharon Needles, when she won. If you hear a boo, lots of boos, that's just ghost cheering you. Boos are cheers, people. They are not negative. They are a positive. This year, I will be dressing up as a survivor that's turned killer from Dead by Daylight, which is a game that I play over on Twitch that I stream. Tends to be every day that I stream. It is like a horror survival game, and I will be dressing up as a survivor, but with a twist that I'm actually the killer too. I thought it was really cool because I could dress up as, I could act I'm just a survivor, but really I'm going to, it sounds terrible, but I'm going to act like the victim and then basically make you my victim. Take it as you will. The movies that I tend to watch in October, well, we've had a lot of good horror movies for the past couple of months actually in preparation for October. A lot of hysteria and a lot of things have happened with, as you know, Terrifier, which is hilarious that they think art is like if you didn't realise that Art the Clown was, well, Art the Clown, then you maybe shouldn't have went to see the third movie without seeing the other two, now should you? So watch something scary, do something you love. If you want to scare people, troll people, do it. Decorate your house, dress up like I said, watch a horror movie, go trick or treating, do something that makes your heart smile this holiday. And like I said, I'm Lady Darcy Darkness. Happy Halloween. If you like content like this, remember to go check out Confessions from the Darkside social media platforms that are Twitter, which is X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. Let us know what you think over on our social media platforms and let's get chatting about this topic, all the topics, and let's grow our community and spread how awesome the horror community is and how many people have I fucking pissed off this month talking about religion and talking about origins, because let's face it, I piss pissed lots of people off. If you want to get to know us as individuals, then you can check it out on our links below. I am Lady Darcy Darkness. I have a YouTube, an Instagram, and a Twitch, and my channel is Behind the Mash Reviews. Yes, it's a difficult spelling, but get used to it. So it's Bravo 3 Hotel Indigo November Delta Tango Hotel 3 Mama Alpha 5 Kilo Romeo Echo Victor Indigo Echo Whiskey Sierra. That is the spelling. It is on screen for the people who are watching on YouTube. Luna has a YouTube, an Instagram, and a Twitch, and he's Luna X Rising. And if you need to reach out to us at any point, we have some email addresses, all lowercase, confessionsfromthedarkside@gmail.com, which is the channel. Myself is Behind the Mash Reviews at gmail.com, and I just phonetically spelled out the name, and I'm not doing it again because it's a tongue twister even for myself. And Luna is Luna X Rising at gmail.com. And as I said, that's Confessions from the Dark Side presents the origins of Halloween and where it all started, where it all began. And that is us for Confessions from the Dark Side. Happy Halloween. Later.